Hey guys, welcome back to Chariot Palmistry. In this video, we're going to be having a look at the hands of Vitalik Buterin. He's a guy who invented Ethereum. And we're going to have a look at his hands and see if we can make predictions on what the future is for the Ethereum crypto coin. I would have had a look at the hands of Satoshi Nakamoto to tell you what the future of Bitcoin was going to do, but no one knows what the guy is or who he is or even what his hands look like. But I've had to crawl through the web for a lot of videos to try and find a picture of his hand, and I finally got one. So let's jump into this, see if we can figure out what makes this guy tick and also what the future of his project is going to be. And before we have a look at specific price predictions for Ethereum, I want you guys to notice here how strong his sun line is. This guy doesn't actually have a Saturn line. For those of you who are new to palmistry, the Saturn line is known as the money line, and the sun line is known as the success line. This guy doesn't care about making money, he'd just rather do something that makes him successful. And in that sense, his mentality is very different to most people. But what you're also going to notice here is this line that curves up towards that same sun mount. This is known as a line of good karma, punya purva rekha in Sanskrit. And this one separates from his headline at about the age of 35, which means this guy's career and fate is going to take off like a rocket at the age of 35. Now, at the time I'm making this recording, he's 27 years old, so in around about 8 years, his life's going to get a whole lot better. But let me also define what I mean by better. If you look at his pinky finger, you can see these vertical lines growing here. And this is a zodiac house of Libra. These 4 lines over here means he's got some very strong energy, like strong benefic energy, sitting in this house. So I'd want to say it's one of the teacher gods, either Jupiter or Venus. Jupiter is the teacher of the gods, whereas Venus is the teacher of the demons. Therefore, this guy's life purpose is either to be a teacher, as in start up a school that teaches people, or he'll eventually start up a charity that helps people with their health. Because Venus, he brings people back from the dead, so he's very strongly connected to medicine. In either case, at the age of 35, Vitalik has to make a choice. Will he become a teacher? Will he stick it out with Ethereum? Or will he start up like a medical practice type of charity? Which path should he take? That's his life decision, and after he makes that decision, that's when his life will start to take off. But between now and then, let's have a look at the other lines on his hands to see what's going to happen with Ethereum. And the thing I want you to notice is these vertical lines in the middle finger. This is the area for Capricorn, and you can see the energy in Libra directly reflecting itself into Capricorn. Now in astrology, this is known as an aspect, where a planet sitting in one house influences another house. So what this means is when Capricorn energy is activated on Vitalik's hand, we should expect to see the price of Ethereum go up. And what I think is going to happen is as Jupiter has come into Capricorn, the price of Ethereum should go up over all of calendar year 2021. And incidentally, the last time these lines were activated was when Jupiter was in Libra. That was in 2018, and that's when the whole crypto thing went into its last bubble phase. I think it's going to get into a second bubble phase right now looking at these lines. Incidentally, if we look at the lines on Aries over here, we can see the exact same imprint. So Libra is influencing Capricorn and then also influencing Aries, meaning that in the year 2025, when Jupiter goes into Aries, that's going to be a really big year for the price of Ethereum too. But what's going to happen here in the short term, I believe, over 2021, is that there's going to be financial institutions that are actually going to start to adopt Ethereum. My logic there is Capricorn is all about banks and that kind of thing. So Jupiter in Capricorn with these lines on Vitalik's hands leads me to believe that there's going to be financial institutions jumping onto the Ethereum bandwagon. Right now they're all talking about Bitcoin, if they talk about it at all, but keep your eyes to the newspapers because soon they're going to be talking about Ethereum too. But it's not all good news here, because what I want you to look at is this malefic horizontal line that is in the sign of Aquarius. Vitalik has some really bad energy here, and the general rule is that the thicker and more prominent these lines are, the worse that energy is going to get. We can see from Aquarius it influences a negative line also in Taurus. Again, we think of aspects. And right now the north node of the moon is over here, Rahu. And it's going to hit this line, which is at about 22 degrees of Taurus in March. So we can make a prediction that one of two things are going to happen. Either the price of Ethereum will fall in March of 2021, or it will correct until March and then it'll start to rise. So I'm not sure specifically which way it's going to go, but March of 2021 is going to be a key month for Ethereum. Generally though, it's going to be in a big uptrend all of next year, I believe. And then what happens in April of 2022, Saturn, which is currently in Capricorn, will enter into Aquarius. And then the struggles for Ethereum are going to begin. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a big price drop happening at that time. And I believe it's going to stay down for a period of about 3 to 5 years, which is roughly in line with when Jupiter comes into Aries again and activates those good lines on Vitalik's hands. It's going to be during that period of time that the Ethereum platform will bring out lots of good news, and there'll be lots of bad news as well, but nothing significant that's going to move the price up or down. But then, as I said, in 2025, we're going to get a repeat of the bull market. However, as palmists, our interest isn't so much in the price of what this guy produces. Our interests are in what this guy's life decisions are. And in 2029, when this guy turns 35 years old, he's going to make a ton of money, and it's at that point he's got to figure out what he does with his life. Does he become a teacher and start up an education facility? Or does he start up a medical facility? That's when his life will really get interesting. So we'll come back in a couple of years and have a look at his hands at that point. But in order to get to that life decision, Ethereum has to go through 3 major failures. The first failure was in 2018, where the price of Ethereum went up to about $1,400 US. The second failure, I believe, will happen at the end of 2021 and more so into 2022. And if I could put a number on it, I'd say maybe $1,800 to $2,000 Ethereum at that point. The third failure of Ethereum will happen between 2025 to 2027. And it's too early yet to put a price target on where Ethereum's going to be there, except to say it's going to be higher than where it ends in 2022. And that, guys, is the hands of Vitalik Buterin. It's a lot of bold predictions in this video, so we'll come back in a couple of years and see how we went with that one. If you have any questions though, leave them in the comment section below. Thanks a lot.